Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Witchful Thinking, The Wise Woman's Handbook for Creating a Charmed Life by Zoe Howe. I think that's how you're supposed to say that. Typically we don't have the special little symbol above the E, so I think that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know. So this book I waited forever to get. So I requested this in like March and it took until now. Well, okay, as of recording this, it's currently July. I think you're still seeing it in the same month, but this took forever to get. I don't know why there was no holds, it just took forever. I was honestly like surprised when they were like, it's available, because it'd been sitting there and requested forever, 0 holds. So I don't know why it took forever, but finally got this. So this is one of those books that like, there's nothing revolutionary about it. The way she writes is kind of entertaining. It is sometimes like, it is a little more swayed for like the female experience more than the male experience. Like when kind of later in the book there's like discussion of like entering cronehood and like the whole journey of menopause, which always like, I know it's a personal thing where for me I'm like, oh, I gotta check the compassion right now. I gotta put that in the forefront, because it's like, oh my god, my fertility is gone, my ability to have a child is removed. And now I'm sitting over here like, hi, I had that at 10. So, good for you. I'm so glad you had the option for years and now we're mourning that instead of you never had that choice. But oh god, sometimes those ones I really struggle, because it's the shadow I know I have to deal with that I'm like, I need to have compassion right now. It was a little, anyways, moral of the story, I don't know that a dude's gonna also have that similar experience where you're like, okay. So like, other than that, like there's a handful of things, but for the most part, this book is pretty universal. There's nothing like revolutionary included in here. There are a couple sources that are a little questionable. Like she talks about, oh, I think it's like Marion Weinstein, the one who did Positive Magic, that was like super not great and very much a walking red flag of a book. That was a constant reference for the author and I'm like, oh, please no. You were doing so good until that. Because like the history from that book is like real hot mess. I'm pretty sure that was the one that was like, if you get hit by a bus, it was your fault because you were manifesting that. Remember that conversation? Yep. So that was making me a little questionable, but like overall, this was actually a decent read. It's one of those that I think if you are a beginner, you just need to read a certain amount of beginner books. And I think obviously this is much more modern. I would pick this over like a Buckland book because it's modern and also it does really present the same information, just regurgitated again. Everyone's done this, but I don't think it's a bad thing to constantly be rereading it as a beginner. There's just some that do it better than others. This is in the pretty good category if you're a beginner and you're like just feeling like you need to kind of have the same information kind of presented to you from a slightly different perspective, but basically the same. Because again, it's just that concept that we learned in school, like you just have to have it like presented to you a few different times, then it kind of starts to settle into the brain. It's kind of like that, and if you're wanting that for witchcraft, this is definitely a good read. It didn't really like set out to do much more than that, and that's okay. Some of the ideas she has you do was interesting, and again, overall, like for a beginner, this is just a great book to have. Don't expect to be like wowed, especially if you're intermediate to advanced. Nothing really new here, but I do think it's good if you're a beginner just to kind of reiterate the same points again. So anyways, kind of short and sweet for this one, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names over here. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Speaking of books, did you know that I have one coming out very, very soon? Beginning of August, this is going to be available and it will not have this banner of awful going on. Yours will not have that. That is for my marketing books because I haven't hit published and Amazon likes to not let you market your books. It used to, being old, back in the day before Amazon bought them out, and it was Create Space, they would just write proof back here, and the rest of the book was beautiful so you could actually market with it, and then they decided not to do that anymore. So Anyways, this is my death book for witches. This takes you through the death journey. That's why I called it the death journey. I'm really not original with titles. Like, wait till you see my next witchcraft book. The title in progress right now is just great. But for now, we have this one. So this is the death journey. If you are experiencing a death and you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, hopefully this book will help you. It walks you through all of the steps, from the mundane stuff that a lot of people might not know about. Like, do you know that you need to go cancel their, like, golf membership? Probably not. It's not something you usually think about. There's checklists in here of things that you might need to consider, who you need to contact, how many copies of, like, the death certificate and why, as well as, like, witchy stuff, like, if you want to be involved in, like, body preparation, how much, stuff like that, and then also, like, blessing the grave site and blessing the headstone, scattering ashes, stuff like that. All of that is in here, celebrating your first Samhain without them. It really walks you through the whole journey of processing a death. So if you would like to support me in my chaos and also have a fantastic resource when the time comes, be watching for this in August. And if you're watching this after August, I have it at my blog linked below. You can find the links very easy, and then you can just like ba-doop, 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 and then you're there. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.